Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to the R50 Marathon. I've been taking a fat break because that was nothing but 2.5 months of nothing but recording, and that was fun. But here we are. We're just going to re-rank the Rush records, but today we're going to do a tier list just to change it up a little bit because why not? I don't feel like making the title card, so we're just gonna fucking put it all on this tier list. Now, there are gonna be a few changes in this one compared to the last one. Namely, there's one album that's getting a big ass bump up from the last time it was here. I think another album's going down too. So, yeah, it's worth updating, I think. So, we already got our tier list here. So let's just go ahead and get right into last place, which is obviously going to be Feedback. We're just going to throw that into E because I don't even necessarily think it's the worst, but it's just the one I do not care about. So it has a couple good songs, namely The Seeker, which I really enjoy. I think there was something else, but I already forgot what it was because I never listened to it. So we're just going to move right along into the next one, which is Test for Echo. In the world of Rush, I do not think there is a right answer for the best album. But there is a right answer for the worst album, and it is Test for Echo. Oh my goodness gracious. I already forgot every song on there. Minus Driven, which is the single only reason this album does not fade into absolute obscurity. Everything else ranges from like okay, like a C tier song like the title track is fine. But with songs like Dog Years and I don't know, what else is on there? Carve Away the Stone, Limbo. I don't even know the songs on this album because I do not think it's good. I do not think it's a good album. The only reason I don't have an F tier on this tier list is because it has Driven on it. Otherwise, it would have went straight to F. But yeah, whatever. It's not great. And then, okay, now starting our D tier is going to be Hold Your Fire. By the way, I'm obviously going in order from worst to best, but we're just ordering it like this, just so there's no confusion. So yeah, bottom, Feedback, then it's Test for Echo, then Hold Your Fire, yada, yada, yada. That's how we're doing this. Yeah, Hold Your Fire, it does have Time Stand Still, which is an S tier song, but one S tier song an S tier album does not make, because you also got a whole bunch of whatevers, like I'm trying to remember the track list off the top of my head, and I just simply can't. Obviously, Tai Shan's on here, and that's not good. Like High Water, Turn the Page, Mission. There's just a whole bunch of songs that I just don't care about. It's mostly the first three. Like Force 10 is a great song. Obviously, Time Stands Still. And then what's the third? I think it's like Second Nature or something. That one's okay, but then everything else is just whatever. Like I don't need to hear it again. And that's going to go to our next album, which I'm debating putting it into C, or you know what? No, it's Vapor Trails, but we're going to go right to C because I don't think it's like, I don't think it's worthy or like unworthy to go into D tier, but it's definitely not super amazing. Obviously, we have our three songs that I mentioned in the videos: Earthshine, Sweet Miracle, and Ghost Rider, which are all phenomenal songs. But yeah, there is a lot that I just do not care for. And that's basically everything else. Like One Little Victory is fine. But yeah, everything else, like I can't think of anything else. The rest are just whatever. They're whatever. And then following that, we're going to have Snakes and Arrows, which also has a lot of whatever stuff. But, got my jam, Working Them Angels, fantastic song. Then we got Faithless is great. Malignant Narcissism, excellent final instrumental track. I mean, I think Hope comes later, but, whatever. It's just a guitar solo. What else is on Snakes and Arrows? Like Far Cry is decent. Yeah, and then just Where the Wind Blows. That's a pretty solid song. But then it's a long album, and like there's a lot that it's just like whatever. If I don't mention the song, then it's whatever. It's a whatever song. Unless I just can't remember it, which is also always a possibility. Okay. Do I put this in C or B? No, you know what? Counterparts is up next into C tier as well. And I always praise this album as like the first one in a long time that actually has some balls to it. You know, a lot of that 80s stuff was very thin, like late 80s was very thin sounding, and just like I do not like how they were mixed. But then Counterparts starts, and it's just so much heavier than everything else before it, and that was always great. But then you have Speed of Love on it, which is not great. But there are a lot of great songs. Animate, absolutely fucking amazing song. Stick It Out is great. That's like the most chunky song. Cold Fire, which is, I think, super underrated. Partly my fault because I didn't even realize how good that song actually was. What's the Nobody's Hero is a great song. Leave That Thing Alone. That's the one. Yeah, Leave That Thing Alone, one of their best instrumental songs. This is like C+. I think this has got to be the last. No, I don't know. It's very good. It's like I think half of it, I think, or at least like 40% of it is very good, very solid. But again, we still have a lot of songs that I just think are whatever. You know, and moving right along in the lines is Roll the Bones. The title track is great. I think everyone loves that one. Gotta love the stupid, goofy ass rap section in the middle of it. Really like the keys in that one. Face Up is great. Bravado is a great song. Where's My Thing? More great instrumental stuff. Ghost of a Chance has that really cool lead. I remember that part. But then like Neurotica, You Bet Your Life. Oh, Big Wheel. Big Wheel is pretty good. I think maybe it's just the chorus though. But really, I should have like a C+, like for both Counterparts and Roll the Bones. These are like C+, like high C tier. Where am I gonna put this one? You know what? Okay, we'll start the B's with Fly By Night. I'm not about to put it in C, but I almost kind of want to, because yeah, I don't think Fly By Night is as good as people think it is. Obviously, we kick it off with Anthem. Anthem is a great track, great introduction to Neil. The title track is obviously like one of their biggest songs, and it's still pretty good. And then By Tor and the Snow Dog, and those three are really the only three songs I really like. But I do really like those songs. And then everything else is like C tier songs, like Beneath, Between, Beyond, whatever it's called, is fine. Best I Can, they're like okay songs. But then like the last song, I think In the End, and was it Making Memories? I think that's on Fly By Night. They're just kind of whatever. I just mainly like it for those three songs. And the cover. I do like the owl. Owls are cool. But yeah, that's Fly By Night. And then we're going to have Caress of Steel, which really just because the Necromancer. That song is probably one of their best songs ever. Bastille Day is solid. I Think I'm Going Bald is stupid. Fountain of Lamenth is kind of is a lot of fluff in that song. And then there's Lakeside Park, which is like whatever. But yeah, Bastille Day's solid. Necromancer is a goddamn masterpiece. So yeah, enough said about Caress of Steel. And then now, the biggest bump up. Goddamn Presto. I'm pretty sure this was like number 18 or 17 when I ranked it, and now it's number 12. So yeah, it bumped up a solid 5 or 6 spots, and because it is actually pretty damn good. Yeah, like Show Don't Tell, Chain Lightning, The Pass, Scars, the title track, Superconductor, Red Tide. All these songs are actually really, really good. The only songs I don't care about are Warpaint, Anagram, and Hand Over Fist. That's 3 songs out of 11. 8 of these songs are certified bangers. And that's a big step up from everything underneath it. I think the most, maybe Roll the Bones or counterparts that have like 5 or 6 songs. I mean, okay, I guess 2 more songs isn't that big of a step up. But now we're getting into like the really pretty solid stuff. And Presto, I think, is really super solid. Very good. Okay. Actually, no, that's going into A tier. That's straight up going into A tier, man. It's a really good album. I gotta say, that is definitely higher than a B. If only 3 out of 11 songs are not good, that's definitely an A tier right there. Okay, moving on, we are going to have a kind of a hot take of mine, the debut album. This thing kicks ass. I'm sorry, but like every single song minus Here Again and Before and After. And even then, which one? Is it Here Again? No, it's Before and After that has that really, like, the first 2 minutes that are really clean and boring. And then it just kicks into this super rockin' song, just like the rest of the album. So it's like 6.5 songs of good ass shit, 1.5 songs of not good ass shit. Everything. Finding My Way, it as goofy as In the Mood is, it still grooves as hell. It's got a cowbell and everything. Obviously, there's Working Man, and then you have Take a Friend, Need Some Love. All these songs, everything else on there absolutely kicks ass. It might not be super proggy, it might not have Neil, it might have stupid lyrics, but you know what? The riffs and grooves make up for all of that. As for a debut album, that's just damn good. Okay, then we're going to have the Hemispheres, which I know this is a big fan favorite. I mean, everything from the 70s is fan favorites. La Villa Strangiato, man, the single greatest instrumental song of all time. Obviously, that's going to get you at least into A tier. The Trees is fine. Like I said, that was not one of my favorite hits, but like it's still good. Circumstances, I think, is better and a little more underrated. And then the big opening track has a lot of good moments too. Maybe a bit long, but that's fine because it is still a very good album. And speaking of very good, we have Grace Under Pressure. This thing, oh man. The only 2 are Kid Gloves and Red Lenses. Everything else is so good. After Image is... You keep saying the same thing. Just like the actual videos. I just keep saying the same shit over and over again. But like, what else am I going to say? The Synths era is so damn good. Super overlooked albums. Yeah. After Image, Red Sector A, Distant Early Warning, all that jazz, that's great. Between the Wheels, The Body Electric. I'm talking, I think that's all of them. There might be one more, but yeah, besides those 2 songs I mentioned, everything else is great. It's another 6 out of 8 songs that absolutely beats ass. S tier is reserved for the ones that have all good songs, right? So 2112 is going to A tier. And obviously we have the title track, which me personally, it bothers me how much it fades out and fades back in towards the end of the song. That gets really annoying. But like, yeah, obviously we have Overture and Temples of Syrinx, big songs. Discovery, I remember learning that whole thing on guitar. I could still probably play it, but I'm not going to. Presentation, fun stuff. Grand Finale, great. Obviously, we have a big song, 2112. And then everything else, like Passage to Bangkok is a solid song. Twilight Zone is great. Tears is, I think, a little underrated because if in the right mood, that song hits so good. And then Something from Nothing. I'm pretty sure I put it at number 1 on my album tier or rankings. Next video, we're going to do like top 10 underrated Rush songs, and that's definitely one of them. Something for Nothing is a damn good song. But a lot of these are damn good. So what am I gonna do? And then Lessons is the only one where I'm just like, whatever. Get rid of Lessons. Oh god, I don't need to hear that one. Don't need to hear that one. Okay, last one for the A tier. Signals. More synth stuff, and I think it was the first synth stuff. And it opens with Subdivisions, which is my second favorite song of all time, or of the band. Of all time, too? I don't know, maybe. Who knows? Who can... I don't trust a man who can give me like their top 5 favorite songs of all time. It's like, I don't know. There's too many of them to even choose from. But yeah, Subdivisions, a phenomenal track. Chemistry, I thought was always fun. It's stupid, but it's a lot of fun, especially what Neil does during the chorus, the weird tom thing, and the groove, the riffs just kick ass. The Weapon, I think, is super great, mostly again because of Neil. He does the weird, cool but catchy beat that he does the whole time. That's great. The Man Duology, Digital Man, and New World Man, both very solid songs. The Analog Kid, man, I remember seeing that live for the first time, and that was like the most hype, because it's like, it's not really a super popular song, so it's kind of a B-side, but a very good one at that. And then, yeah, the only song is Countdown, which I'm like, whatever. And Losing It's a great song too. So yeah, there's just the one little song that I'm not a super big fan of. Which brings us into our top 5. All 5 of these are going right into S tier, because all 5 of them kick ass. Okay, first up, we're going to have A Farewell to Kings. And admittedly, Madrigal I don't care about, but it's like a 2-minute thing, so I don't really care. The title track, I think, is another one, like Cold Fire, that I overlooked for a long time, and I need to stop that, because that's a pretty damn good song. And then, obviously, we get our Closer to the Heart. Good track. I think there's a second one that's like this. Cinderella Man, that's what it is. That one's pretty solid. Christ, that's on this one, right? Yeah, Cinderella Man is on this album. Have to make sure. And then you have the big 2, right? We have Xanadu and Cygnus X1, which are both of them also in like the top 10 Rush songs of all time. Actually, I don't even know. If I did a top 10 Rush songs, I would probably tie like 2 or 3 songs in each spot, because it would realistically be like top 20, but in the top 10, because I got to talk about all of them. And yeah, both of those songs absolutely kick ass. Man, Xanadu, I think, is just... Xanadu and La Villa Strangiato, I think, are the 2 main songs that really highlight what this band can do. And yeah, great album. Moving on to another great album, we have Permanent Waves, which I'm still not the biggest fan of Free Will, but I am not going to say I dislike it enough to not be an S tier. Because yeah, Spear of the Radio obviously is, you know, sent him to the stratosphere. Entre Nous, great small song. Different Strings, I really like that one. Jacob's Ladder is solid. Natural Science is solid. Just 6 songs. One of them I'm not a big fan of, but the other 5 are all great. Great album. Enough said. Like I said, all the songs are amazing. Wait a minute. Oh, I skipped one. I apologize. Actually, first up in S tier is going to be Power Windows. I was like, yeah, I don't think that album's in my top 3, but I do really like it. Holy shit, dude. The single most underrated Rush album of all time. Power Windows is just such a great trip. You know, I mentioned this in my ranking video a couple years ago, where I was like, man, if I was in a room that's just the walls are nothing but speakers, just like the greatest surround sound system the galaxy has ever known, I want to listen to Power Windows in that room, because there are so many layers in this album that just everything's great. Everything's great. Big Money, Marathon, Manhattan Project, goddamn Mystic Rhythms, grand designs. Even Territories is great, and then we have like a motion detector. I don't know. Everything's great. Everything's great. What can I say? Okay, back to number 2. Obviously, we're going to have moving pictures. Man, you already know that one's going to be last, right? Moving pictures. Like, do I need to even give any reasons? Tom Sawyer, Limelight, YYZ, Red Barchetta, The Camera Eye, Witch Hunt, Vital Signs. That's why it's number 2, because all 7 of these songs absolutely slay. YYZ, masterclass in like bass playing. Limelight, masterclass in lyric writing. Tom Sawyer, best drum fill or best drum solo of all time. Camera Eye, and the other 3 are just like, they all just groove in their own way. A lot of great moments. Just, it's great. It's a phenomenal album. And then, of course, number 1, Clockwork Angels. Oh, and someone pointed out the best how in my R50 marathon, most videos were like 7 to 10 minutes. Clockwork Angels was 29 minutes. That's how you know. Enough said. If you want to know why Clockwork Angels, I have like 3 or 4 videos at this point talking about this album, and it's not even going to be the last one. It's not even going to be the last one. Everything. It's my favorite album of all time. Caravan, BU2BU, BU2B, the title track, Anarchist, Carnies, 7 Cities Gold, Wish Them Well, The Garden. I lost the track listing there, but Headlong Flight, Halo Effect, BU2B2. It's just an interlude, but it's fine. But yeah, I'm not going to sit here and go watch my half-hour video of why this is my favorite. So yeah, I felt like I kind of sped run that, but goodness gracious, there's a lot to talk about. So here it is. Here is my Rush tier list. Yeah, half of it is in S and A tiers. That's how you, because it's a very good band. And even going down, like everything post, was that Presto, is all like under C and under, besides Clockwork. So despite the band kind of falling off in the second half, besides that one, it's a great band. Absolutely great band. That's it, man. But I do have another ranking I'm currently working on, because I'm seeing a live show at the end of the month that I've been kind of putting off ranking this guy until I see him. Thank you all for tuning into the big ol' Rush goddamn circle jerk over here, and I will see you in the next ranking. Tally ho.